guys, Dr. Marra here, and it is 7/3/13, and let's see, what time is it? 5:13 on July 3rd, 2013, and I figured I'd come on and do a quick update the day before the 4th, or what we call Independence Day here in the United States, and I wanted to talk a little bit about a previous video I did, bringing all aspects of ourselves into one. And so I want to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, as many people call it. And again, that's a perspective, they're just words. But one thing that I'm noticing is that unless you can recognize and accept that we are polaritied, if that's a word. We are in polarity, and therefore we have, hot, cold, good, bad, up, down, as I always say. But even ourselves, and we are in polarity. So therefore, we have good and bad. If you want to look at that, I think they're just opposites. They're opposing forces. But we take on. And we have had many aspects where we played the good part and then also the bad part. And we have to recognize it, accept it, and as we look at it for what it truly is, whether it be something you've done in the past that you would never do again, without that opposition, you wouldn't have a recognition of growth. So it's important to bring that aspect to yourself, recognize it, forgive yourself, send it unconditional love so you can transmute and transcend it, to bring that energy to yourself. So, in other words, myself especially, and I can't speak for everybody, but you try to be good or holy or righteous or whatever the word you want to use, but we have other aspects of ourselves that weren't so good in various perspectives, if you want to look at it that way. At a lower perspective, you look at it as the bad guy. At a higher perspective, you look at it as though it's opposition. And it carries a lower vibration, so you can see the difference. And again, without that polarity, without the difference or opposite, you wouldn't have a reference point. So you can see where you've been and where you've come because of the variation in vibration and the various acts that you've done, the feelings you had in the moment of that time. And everything, of course, is happening in this moment of now, but they're all different aspects. And depending what you focus your attention on is what you can accept, you can transmute and transcend these energies, these aspects of yourself. And, early on, as I've been awake for a while, but it's a progression. It's just like anything else in the universe. Things progress. They grow. The awareness, the consciousness, it just grows. And looking back over my life, I can see that I've had some major growth points, specific points, and things that catapulted me where I am today. And I wouldn't act a certain way today as I did before, but I see the purpose back then, and I can forgive myself and send myself unconditional love, or that aspect of myself. And as I do that, I'm bringing more and more energy into myself, and recognizing that, I wasn't a bad guy or anything like that. It was just I was playing my part, and that's where I was in my awareness. So the good, the bad, the ugly, as we say, we're more than just good. There are aspects of ourselves that we've played in the past that we have to recognize, accept. That's part of this game. That's part of this play that we're all playing out. And it's okay. We look back and we don't want to look at it. We want to, hide from it. And you're not doing yourself any favors by not recognizing it and not truly looking at it for what it is. It was just a part of the program, so to speak. And so to give an example, of these many aspects, I can see myself as a Syrian light warrior. And I've said this for, some time. But over the past several months, as my awareness, my consciousness raises, that Syrian light warrior and my feeling and how I look at it, it may be, say, a fifth dimensional being or aspect of myself. But more recently, I've been resonating with the Arcturians. And this is something that when I would hear a channeled message from them, um, and I just saw a light sparking, so I don't know if that's them in here saying, "Hey, we're here, guy." So anyway, they really, really resonate with me now more than ever, and it feels to me like that it's an aspect of myself from a higher perspective. And right now, the first number that comes to mind is ninth dimension. Whether I'm accurate or whether this is my ego mind, I don't know exactly. I don't want to doubt myself either. I mean, it's the first thing that popped into my head, so I'm going to go with it. And I think that as we all recognize that there are so many different aspects of ourselves, we've played all these various parts in different planets and different dimensions and realities. Again, we're multidimensional beings. And as we accept this and we believe in it, we start to see different aspects of ourselves and we start to remember. And it's important to maybe speak about this so that I'm not just saying that, it's we're multidimensional beings. Well, what the heck does that mean? Many people are like, oh, okay, I can get that. Yeah, maybe we're living other lifetimes. But really, there are so many different aspects, thousands, probably millions. And again, we're timeless beings of this universe. And we're children of the universe, so we're here to play. And even though we've stepped into this separation game here on this planet at this particular moment of now with everybody that's here, the separation is so we have blinders so we can play out this game. This person incarnated, or this being of light, is a tree. This being is an animal. We've all decided to play different parts in a set, in a play, if you will, to play that part. And in this reality, we've decided to do one thing. And other aspects or other realities of ourselves, we're the good guy, the bad guy, the tree, the deer, the whatever. But we're all consciousness, we're all energy. And we've all decided to do certain things and be certain things for the purpose of playing that part. And again, we put blinders on just so, if you knew it all, it would ruin the surprise or it would ruin the storyline. It's almost like watching a movie, and then your best friend watches a movie, and they tell you the end of the story, or actually tell you the whole story, and then there's a surprise at the very end. Well, that kind of ruins it for you when you watch the movie. You're like, oh, that would have been so much better if I would have not anticipated the end result. And so, as we're remembering all aspects of ourselves, we're kind of coming online with various gifts, our telepathic abilities. Today I went to work, and one of the nurses that I work with is having some home life issues, I could say. And I could feel this ball of heaviness on my chest, this empathic, and I just knew. I knew exactly what it was, what was bothering her. And to me, I've been a little empathic, but not like this. Like this, I knew exactly what was going on and why and all this stuff. And the reason I'm giving this example is because as I'm turning on and turning up with, if you want to call them gifts, they're just abilities that we've already accomplished in other lifetimes and other ascensions. And many of us, probably most of us actually, are masters within our own right, and we've done this before. And so as the play progresses, there are certain people that are Pathfinders, and we've decided to come here to blaze the trail, so to speak. And as we're doing it, we come on something like this, YouTube, and we just give our account of what's personally happening. And those who resonate with that will find it energetically, and they'll subscribe, or they'll put it on Facebook, and someone else will see it, and then they'll say, hey, man, that really resonates with me. Or they'll say, I don't know what the heck that guy's talking about. And they may be further down the path or maybe down behind. The point is, we're not alone in this, and we don't have to do it alone. And just remember, there are a lot of people on this planet. There's billions of us, and don't be afraid to look outside yourself once in a while just for that support. And I'm not saying that all your answers are outside. Most of them are inside, but sometimes the ego mind gets in the way, and there's a battle between spirit and ego, and what happens with that is there's confusion. So sometimes it's good to be looking outside yourself, because we're all reflections of each other. So it's a balance between what you get inside. It's the ego mind, the spiritual, the mental, emotional, energetic, all that stuff in balance. So it's important to be in balance right now. And one other thing before I forget, just popped into my head. We must have had one heck of an energy burst that came through as the change in the month, like July, from June to July. And as I always say, energetically it comes streaming through fast, and then physicality takes some time to catch up. Matter, of course, is more dense, it's slower moving energy, and it takes a while to assimilate that. And man, I'll tell you what, yesterday at work, I was just in a fog. And the patients that were coming in were just totally complicated. I couldn't focus. I was just wiped out. And everybody around me was exactly, and we were all talking about the same things. Like, I'm so wiped out. I feel fatigued. I could go home and take a nap. All these things. And then today it was totally different. Today it was just like refreshed, we just got recharged, and we went in and everybody did their thing. But towards the end of the day, again, we started just kind of dragging, and it was like, oh, is it time to go home yet? So again, we're all reflections of one another, and we're all in this together. So, take a look at yourself, and these are just suggestions that I'm giving. They're not orders, demands, nothing like that. So when I say that, I'm saying it might be wise for you to take a look at yourself, look around you to see what's going on. And not everything is in plain sight. There are things that are going on that we aren't aware of. And to get confirmation in that, you just get on the internet, because that is not being controlled yet. I mean, somewhat it may be somewhat, but there's lots of information out there. It's really important to be resting, paying attention to your body right now. But the most important thing I wanted to come on to tell you is that don't be afraid to look at all aspects of yourself. I mean, I've been looking at myself recently, and as I do that, and at first it's like, oh God, I didn't really like that. But then I say, you know what, I can't judge myself in that moment of that aspect of myself. I just send it unconditional love because it needs it. We are snapshots in time. Snap, 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 snap. And in that moment back then, I need that energy. So I'm sending myself, if you want to look at it as time travel, if it helps you understand this, sending myself unconditional love so that I can transmute and transcend. And as I do that, I raise my own vibration. I pull all aspects to myself, and that separation goes away. We're becoming unity consciousness. So we start with ourselves, and then this radiates outward to the planet. And I'm running out of time here, so I got to get off here, but I'm going to send you guys love, light, and laughter. And again, enjoy this ride. It's pretty cool. So take care, you guys.